Dear all, we welcome you to 12th Annual General Meeting of KP Energy Limited. Please note, all participants are requested to keep their mic on mute mode till the chair with his speech. Thereafter, all those shareholders who are pre-registered shall be given an opportunity to raise their query. Now we are handing over to Company Secretary to start proceeding of the meeting. Thank you.
Shareholders, Namaskar and a very good afternoon. On behalf of KP Energy Limited and its Board of Directors, I, Karmit Sheth, Company Secretary of the company, extend a very warm welcome to everyone present at this 12th Annual General Meeting of the company through video conferencing and other audio-visual means. I would like to welcome all the dignitaries present on the dais, as well as present from their respective locations, including our board members, statutory auditors, secretarial auditors, practicing company secretary, and scrutinizer. As you all know by now, AGMs are a very important tradition at KP family. It is an event that is celebrated with all the stakeholders of the company. It is a day wherein we assimilate and review our strengths, weaknesses, strategies to grow on all fronts along with each and every stakeholder. These meetings have a newfound importance given the environment these last 2 years. To borrow an extract from our annual report, business must continually recalibrate their plans in order to survive and grow in dynamic and uncertain world. It is not for the first time, neither will it be the last time that your company has faced headwinds while carrying out its operations. However, what is consistent is our ability to hold our ground and emerge much stronger. Continuing the trend last year, we are conducting this AGM in accordance with the guidelines issued by Ministry of Corporate Affairs, Government of India, and Securities and Exchange Board of India. Before we start the proceeding of this AGM, I will take you through certain points regarding the participation and voting at this meeting. All the members who have joined this meeting are by default placed on mute mode by the host to avoid any disturbance arising from the background noise and ensure smooth and seamless conduct of the meeting. Members who have not voted through remote voting can cast their votes through e-voting facilities during the AGM. Now moving towards the proceeding of the meeting, I declare that the requisite quorum for the meeting in accordance with the provision of section 103 of the Companies Act 2013 is present, and hence I request Mrs. Bhadrabala Joshi, our non-executive, non-independent director and chairperson of the board, to chair this meeting. Over to you, madam. Thank you.
Thanks, Karmit. Very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I, Bhadrabala Joshi, non-executive director and chairperson of the board of directors, have great pleasure in extending you a warm and cordial welcome to this 12th annual general meeting of your company. As a chairperson of this meeting, it is honor and privilege for me to address all of you on behalf of the board of directors of your company. This meeting is conducted through video conference and other audiovisual means because of the COVID-19. This is in compliance of circulars issued by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, the Government of India, and the Securities and Exchange Board of India. The company has ensured to take all feasible steps to ensure participation of the shareholders in this annual general meeting and vote. Adequate facility of video conferencing has also been provided by the company. The requisite quorum is present, and therefore I call meeting to order and declare that the proceeding of this 12th annual general meeting has commenced. The register of directors and key managerial personnel and register of the contracts or arrangements in which directors are interested are available for inspection of the members. I wish to introduce the member of the board of directors and key managerial personnel participating in this meeting for the benefit of new members attending this meeting. The most respected Shri Farooq Patel, Managing Director, Shri Ashish A. Mithani, Full-Time Director, Shri Affan Patel, Full-Time Director, Shri Arvind Patadia, Additional Director, Independent, Shri Shajesh Kolte, Non-Executive Independent Director, Shri Vendhan Mudliar, Non-Executive Independent Director, Shri Praveen Singh, Chief Financial Officer, Shri Karmit Seth, Company Secretary and Compliance Officer. All the directors of the company except Mr. Bhupendra Shah, Non-Executive Director of the company, are present at this meeting. I wish to inform the members present that Mr. Sajesh Bhaskar Kolte, Chairman of Audit Committee, is present at this meeting in compliance to SEBI Listing Obligation and Disclosure Requirement Regulation 2015 from Mumbai. The authorized representative of the statutory auditors, Mrs. Mark and Associate, and Secretarial Auditor, Mrs. SJV and Associate of Company, are also present in this meeting. Dear members, the notice dated 31st August 2021 conveying this annual general meeting and a copy of the annual report for the financial year ended March 31st, 2021 has already been circulated to members of the company electronically. With your permission, I shall take this as read. The auditor reports on the stand-alone and consolidated financial statements and the secretarial audit report of the company for the financial year ended March 31st, 2021 do not contain any qualification, reservation, adverse remark or disclaimer. Accordingly, the reports are not required to be read out as provided in the Companies Act 2013. The company has provided the facility of remote e-voting to the shareholder to cast their vote electronically. The remote e-voting was open from 27th September 2021 at 10 a.m. and ended on 29th September 2021 at 5 p.m. We will now take up the official business of the meeting. I wish to inform the members that the resolutions have already been put to vote through remote e-voting and e-voting during this AGM, and therefore there will be no proposing or seconding of the resolutions. I would request Mr. Karmit Seth, Company Secretary of the company, to read out the resolutions set forth in the notice conveying this meeting circulated to you all. Mr. Karmit Seth.
Sure. Thank you, Madam. There have been total 8 agenda items contained in the notice calling 12th Annual General Meeting of the company dated 31st August 2021. Ordinary businesses of the notices are: item number 1 is pertaining to receive, consider and adopt the audited financial statements of the company for the financial year ended March 31st, 2021, together with the reports of the Board of Directors and auditors thereon. Similarly, the audited consolidated financial statements of the companies for the financial year ended March 31st, 2021, together with the report on the auditors thereon. Item number 2 is pertaining to appointment of Mr. Bhupendra Vadilal Shah, who retires by rotation and being eligible offers himself for reappointment. Item number 3, to appoint Messrs. Mark and Associates, Chartered Accountants, as statutory auditors and to fix their remuneration. In the special business, item number 4 is pertaining to rectification of the remuneration of the cost auditor. Item number 5, revision in remuneration payable to Mr. Affan Farooq Patel, whole-time director of the company. Item number 6, appointment of Mr. Arvind Kumar Tribondas Patadia as non-executive independent director of the company. Item number 7 is pertaining to approval of related party transactions. And item number 8 is pertaining to sale transfer of undertaking under section 180(1)(a) of the Companies Act 2013. These were all the resolutions put forward in the notice calling the AGM. Thank you, Madam.
Thanks, Karmit. I would now request Mr. Sajesh Kolte, Independent Director and Chairman of Audit Committee, to brief on financial aspect of the company during the financial year 2020-21. Shri Sajesh Bhai.
Thank you, Joshi Madam. Dear shareholders, welcome to the virtual second AGM. During the last AGM, which was again virtually, we all thought that next time we all could meet in person. That is, this year we all could meet in person and interact. But given that the COVID is still there, it is still in the sunset. We will still have to wait for another year. Now, going ahead, I, as chairman of the audit committee for the company, I would like to brief on the financial performance of the company for the year ending 31st March 2021. On consolidated basis, the company net revenue from operations stood at 72 crores versus 75 crores in the preceding year. The total income in the same period stood at 73 crores versus 76 crores in the previous year. So effectively, it was about a marginal decline of about 4% the previous years. But notably, what actually has been impressive is the impressive growth of 65% on the operating profits, which stood at 18 crores. This operating profit came with higher margins, which were at 25% in the year ended 21, compared to 14.5 to the previous year. Basis the net high operating profit and good recoveries from trade receivables, the profit after tax stood at 6 crore vis-a-vis in the preceding year of 1.1 crore. So effectively, it was a Herculean 450% jump in profit after tax. This increase in profit after tax actually has helped us to have a good interest coverage ratio, which is currently at 2.8 times vis-a-vis 1.6 times of the previous year. So company is comfortably placed as far as the interest coverage ratio is concerned. And just to remind that this profit actually has come despite higher finance cost and also accounting depreciation and amortization. So even during the challenging times, the company actually has been able to do well in terms of recoveries of trade receivables. Now the company also has strengthened the balance sheet by increasing the shareholders fund by 5% and thereby subsequently also reducing the debt equity ratio, which is now currently at 0.31 as compared to the preceding year, which was at 0.37. The debtors turnover ratio also has decreased to 9.5% from 3.9% in the last financial year. Now, another thing what actually has happened is the increase in inventory, which has caused a decrease in the inventory turnover ratio to 0.4 from 0.8. And this has been caused due to substantial increase in the inventory comprising of ready to charge transmission network, which is approximately about 70 kilometers in Kutch. Now to conclude, and finally and most importantly, the company also overcame the challenges which were posed especially from the NCLT cases in the last financial year, and most of the cases barring one has been withdrawn. So though this may be a kind of news to rejoice for the management, but at the same time it is also a word of caution to the executive management to ensure all inclusive kind of growth, because to help and to achieve a sustainable growth and a long-term growth for the long-term period, all inclusive growth is important. So to take into account all the stakeholders, either be customers, employees, shareholders, lenders or vendors, everyone is important in this growth cycle. So I hope the management takes note of this to actually focus on all inclusive growth. I am sure that the growth trajectory will be maintained from here because we have performed very well during the challenging times. So with this, I wish the management all the best and keep on working on the same direction, especially as far as vendors are concerned. We need to take about the NCLT and all those things. So the key point here in this would be to focus on all inclusive growth. Thank you. Over to you, madam.
Thanks, Sajeshji. Mrs. SJV and Associates, practicing company secretaries have been appointed as scrutinizer for independently carrying out the e-voting in a fair and transparent manner. Has verified the voting process along with the details received from CDSL, the e-voting service provider. The result of remote e-voting and e-voting done during this AGM would be announced after receipt of the consolidated reports from scrutinizer. Subject to receipt of requisite number of votes, the resolution shall be deemed to be passed on the date of this 12th Annual General Meeting, that is 30th September 2021. The scrutinizer is requested to hand over the result to Mr. Karmit Singh, the Company Secretary of the company, within the stipulated time. The result will also be displayed on the website of the company as well as on the website of Bombay Stock Exchange. I would now like to request Shri Arvind Patadia to address the shareholders. Shri Arvind Patadia.
Dear stakeholders, first of all, I wish you all stakeholders, their families, happy healthy time ahead on this warm, rainy, cloudy, drizzling afternoon. In the capacity of additional non-executive director, I had a privilege to interact with Mr. Farooq Bhai, Ashish Bhai, Arfan, key members of our board in a detailed way. In addition to that, I had also privileged to interact with a functional side of the organization as a part of my duty. I take my privilege to share my thoughts as well as observations. Dear stakeholders, one of the key entity of KP Group, one of the most prestigious group, which is ethics, has pioneered transparency and governance. This ethics, transparency and governance are observed to be deeply embedded in DNA of one of the key entity, that is KP Energy. This organization has a growth in line with the KP overall objectives, and I am sure this will continue. As a technocrat, I can't prevent myself from sharing my observation on annual general body annual reports. One of the features I observed is the company has shared a business in pipeline to the extent of 1035 megawatts. This reveals significant multiplicity in tie-up and focusing growth on the core strength of KP as one of the most reputed EPC. I have also another observation on the organization, that is a fearless, open and enthusiastic young culture. Dear stakeholders, I will now take you to the company functions based on principles of the governance. The company functions comprising of 3 strong pillars. Let me share my observations. Independent director of boards, non-executive directors and the board, including myself, account to 60% of the board. To add to this, respected madam is the chairperson, is also a non-executive, which is a rarest of the rare cases one comes across. Second strong pillar is a strong governance and framework. Very well defined governance policies on various matters like insider trading, related third-party transactions, whistleblower, as well as vigil mechanism, and many to add to this, which are documented in annual reports, are at place. Dear stakeholders, it is also worth to note that company has a compliance with MESIS of a very high standard, not only at national level but at international level also, which includes HSE guidelines, including IFC. My colleague, Mr. Sajesh Kolte, who addressed us a few minutes ago, is a heading independent director as a head of the Audit Committee. In addition, we have also ERP solutions, various policies and statutory orders of great repute. My observation will not be complete unless I go down to the board level also. On the board of directors, how it functions. There are 4 major committees which oversees the functioning of the organizations. The directives, decisions taken by the board, business plan, growth plan, and strategies are implemented through business functions. At the disposal of a CEO and whole-time director, the complete team is available to ensure that chain of command is appropriately implemented through the process of delegation as well as responsibilities. Gentlemen, another observation I have is with respect to that there is no significant material order. With this, I look forward for Yavat Chandra Divakaro many successful years. Thank you all.
Thanks, Arvind. Your attitude nor your aptitude will determine your altitude. Is basic principle of our whole-time director, Shri Ashish Bhai. Now, I would like to request Shri Ashish Bhai Mithani to share with you some of the key highlights of the performance of your company and future prospects. Ashish Bhai.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, Karmit, we are going on a presentation or?
Sure, we can do that.
Fine.
I'll just share the screen.
Meanwhile, while we go to the presentation, I just want to recapitulate what my colleague Sajesh has told during his discussions. I remember before 3 years he had discussed about ESG and properly presenting the ESG compliances by Environment Pro company. The shareholders may kindly appreciate that ESG has found a very special place in the annual report of KP Energy, and KP Energy strongly believes that it is a responsible corporate citizen and it respects its environmental responsibilities, and it has depicted immense amount of its concentration and focus towards preservation and promotion of measures which should support the environment. We are presently undergoing a lot of cyclones and a lot of droughts and a lot of challenges on the climate front. We have never seen such kind of climatic changes in such a short span. We have seen so many typhoons and cyclones in last 2-3 years. This all has happened because we have not been able to mend our environment and our climate properly. And I'm sure through KP Energy's initiatives, we will do and we will share our might in properly developing the renewable energy resources. We want to see that as much as possible we contribute towards the economy of country as well as preservation of the environment. This is what I wanted to thank Sajesh that he brought it to the notice of board, and we have definitely given a lot of impetus to that. And I'm sure in the next annual report, you will find at least 20% of the annual report only and only giving focus on ESG. And internally, we have done a lot of exercises, and we have done our own commitments to present all the ESG initiatives on the to the notice of the shareholders. This is point number one. Point number two, about your comments on the performance of the organization, I must thank each and every member of my team who has been sitting on or walking on the ground. We have really traveled a very long distance from the time where we were performing, but we were not making money for the benefit of our stakeholders. We have certainly migrated from that good, bad, ugly days, and we have definitely come back to an energized KP Energy. You must have seen the theme of last annual report, which was talking about the worst is over. And you are seeing the present annual report as a new dawn, as a new morning. We are looking these time ahead as a fresh, rejuvenated time for us to perform, for us to display our capabilities of decade old exposure to this wind industry. And we are 100% sure that these new opportunity, these new down will definitely imbibe lot of commitments of KP Energy, which will definitely be displayed in the upcoming balance sheets and profit and loss accounts of this organization. The aspect which you have told was inclusive growth of the organization, taking care of everybody, including the employees, including the vendors, including the bankers or the shareholders. I definitely promise on behalf of the board of KP Energy that we will definitely follow the inputs which you have provided. We have always been looking forward for sustainable growth of the organization, and you must have seen from a company with an equity of 1 lakh rupee, today we have equity of about shareholders, about 3,000 people, from 2 people as the shareholders of this organization. We are more than 3,000 now. From an organization which has equity of 1 lakh, we are today having a shareholders fund of more than 65 crore rupees today. So this is a growth which we have seen in 10 years, and I promise you that this inclusive growth input from your end will definitely be coming a very, very glittered format in the next upcoming balance sheet and the annual reports. As far as your comment on the NCLT cases are concerned, yes, the performances on the CLP front, on the new orders which has come, is not just for completing the projects which are on the anvil. It is also to commemorate, to thank, and to express our gratitude towards all the vendors who had supported us in this journey of 10 years, from a small organization, from a small entity, to this journey of being the biggest player in renewable sector in wind in the state. This journey has happened because of immense support from all of our vendors, all our growth partners, and there were grievances because of the shortfall of the projects and non-accounting of our completed projects in Mahua and in Kutch. But I have already mentioned in my notes in the annual report also that one of the most outstanding mentionable achievement was to complete all the disputes and differences with Suzlon, which was lasting for more than 3.5 years. We have done our complete accounting and we have started receiving the funds from them. And before they have started, we also have started paying back to all the people whom we were supposed to pay, and therefore only the people who had approached NCLT, they have already withdrawn, and people who were looking forward also are very, very happy. And I am seeing in near future that we may not have any person which is having an outstanding beyond the agreed credit period. This is my commitment to all of my vendors and all of my growth partners. So coming back to the future prospects, this is a small presentation and display of the commitment which you are going to see. This is a presentation today. I want to convert this presentation into the annual report for tomorrow. This is the team effort of KP Energy, just taking forward this journey to you. Yeah, move forward.
I'll just move.
So I'm sure people have seen that we have gone from almost like what we did in last financial year. We have already completed that numbers, but to bring that in terms of megawatts, we have done more than 200 megawatts of operational projects, from concept, from conceiving the project to maintaining that project for the entire life cycle of that project. We have almost 214 megawatt of assets which are under our operation and maintenance, but these are the projects which we have developed from scratch. We have about 515 megawatt of power evacuation infrastructure which was built by us. And I'm sure by end of this financial year, this 500 and odd will be more than 800 and odd after completing the upcoming under construction 300 megawatt ISTS substation at our Dwarka project. And I'm sure we have, with the upcoming projects on PE front also, we should be crossing 1 gigawatt of PE infrastructure from next financial year. And we plan to add almost what we have been doing in last 6-8 years. We plan to add as much as what we have been doing in every year. This is the opportunity which is available in Gujarat. This is the opportunity which is available from regulatory front. And I'm sure our pipeline, business pipeline of 1 gigawatt, it's 1035 megawatt. I expect that we will be able to bring these projects in pipeline into actual business on the desk, on the annual reports in next 2.5 years' time. So the unique value proposition of KP Energy, which is known to the shareholders, and this is a key aspect which has brought KP Energy from on a very different scale on the energy map of Gujarat and India, is that it is developing a full complete cycle of balance of plant of the project, right from conceiving the project, establishing the metmast, studying the terrains, understanding the economic viability of the project, suggesting the technologies available in India or in the world for implementing or for converting this kind of conceived or projects into a real project, making these projects viable, making all the engineering solutions for completing or constructing such kind of projects. This is what is the value proposition which today on the country's front, this kind of full-scale balance of plant project offer comes only from KP Energy. We have now understood that solar and wind are not competing with each other. They are no more competitors. They complement each other. This is what I had told a couple of years back in one of our meeting and on the BSE dais also, that these two renewable energy sources are not at all competing with each other. These can definitely complement to build this nation on the renewable energy front. And this is what was discussed years on the policies and papers have actually now come on the ground, on the desk for us to decide with the new hybrid policy which was declared by government of Gujarat, supported by the tariff mechanism from the regulator GERC. Today, Gujarat has the best framework, regulatory framework for establishing hybrid projects in the country, and Gujarat is seeing a lot of inquiries and a lot of interest from all the investors across the borders to invest in Gujarat for hybrid projects. And it is also making a good value proposition for the industries in Gujarat to economize their ultimate cost of product or cost of operations by bringing down their cost of energy by using hybrid energy instead of just depending on any conventional format of energy from DISCOM, or maybe in addition to their procurement of renewable energy from separately from wind and solar, they can now get hybrid energy also as a separate value proposition for their power requirement. And KP Energy is looking forward very, very enthusiastically this opportunity. KP Energy has already submitted today, as on date when I'm talking to you, KP Energy has already submitted hybrid proposal to state government for 140 megawatt today on 30th of September. We are developing 270 megawatt hybrid projects in Gujarat, and we plan to completely energize these 70 megawatt by 2 projects by January 2023. And we already have gone ahead with tying up for the technology also for these projects. We already have booked 50% of our wind energy requirement also for this project, for this upcoming project, and we will shortly close the supply agreements and financial requirements also for this particular upcoming hybrid project. We are very much looking forward to change the paradigms of hybrid energy space in Gujarat with these value propositions from KP Energy. I'm sure I have also discussed, and you must have seen that in last month you have seen a note from KP Energy that we are doing about 15 megawatt of projects in our existing Mahua site, where we are doing for the first time. We are adding EPC business with purchase of turbine as well, because there is a very limited window available, which is of about 5.5 months to completely energize this project and fit into the existing wind power policy, which is getting expired on 31st March 2022. And market today in terms of supply of technology is highly scarce because of non-availability of wind turbines, and therefore to ensure that we get these wind turbines in time and to ensure that these turbines are not dependent on any customer's cash flow, we have done the supply arrangement with the Suzlon and Senvion, and we already, as on date when I'm talking to you, we already have signed the turnkey contracts with all these 15 megawatt of captive customers. So what I want to further envisage about the balance sheet and revenue from KP Energy, we have about 85% of our revenue coming from EPC business, which is highly volatile. We have seen a top line of 112 crores, we have seen top line of 27 crores, we have seen top line of 49 crores. We also have seen a top line of 112 crores, and then 71 crores and 69 crores. All of this is highly volatile. It is not giving a matter of consistency, but this some time back, this was about 97% of our total revenue. It has come down to 85%. My objective for this organization is to further get it down and bring down this volatility, to bring a minimum level of performance for the organization and a commitment for all of my employees and all the stakeholders that this will be the minimum number which we will do from bottom line perspective to pay you dividend, to pay you salaries, and to meet all our fixed cost obligations. I am looking forward to see that our O&M revenue, which is close to 2% as on date, we want to bring it to a sizable level. We want to look forward to convert our entire O&M business, which is presently working under our parent company. We want to bring it down into a separate entity, which should be our 100% subsidiary. And we want to take forward this O&M business on a very different scale and bring the overall contribution of revenue on the balance sheet of this consolidated balance sheet of this company from 2% to a double-digit number in not more than 2.5 years. And I'm sure we will have a separate business team which will be looking forward. I'm sure we will have a very highly autonomized data center which will be supporting us, which will support us the live functions. We already have converted our entire operations into ERP from this financial year. All of our activities are already routed through ERP solutions, and tomorrow the entire O&M functions, reporting and MIS activities also will definitely get routed through ERP, and we want us as well as all the stakeholders and captive users also will have a direct access to the live operations, and we will have our data center operational very shortly, and we will definitely see that our O&M function also is a highly revenue generating entity for the organization. We want to see that this 1,000 megawatt of business pipeline actually gets converted into business in 2.5 years, And I already shown in the balance sheet that how much is the hybrid potential which we can convert against the partially developed infrastructure. These all numbers which you see on the screen are the numbers which are actually there where we have either done investment on land or we already have partially ready infrastructure for completion of these projects. And we want to see that this 1035 megawatt actually gets converted into a renewable energy generation project in next 2.5 years' time. So we have good clientele. From once upon a time, we were working on retail. We have started working on large OEMs and then migrating from large OEMs. We are now directly closing the projects with the multinational investors. And shortly, we are definitely moving forward from just the investors. We are further migrating to our clientele base, to utilities, to ensure that we have strong business pipeline and business orders years over years with strong committed utilities who have appetite of gigawatts and gigawatts in Indian renewable energy space. So I'm what I am because of the board, and I'm definitely getting support from all the board members and all the team members. And I'm thankful to our group chairman Farooq Bhai and his leadership, which has given us a lot of momentum and freedom also to perform and to exhibit what all capabilities which nature and Almighty has blessed. As I told, ESG will definitely frame and it will be a very different proposition in the next annual report, and all these small write-ups which you are able to see here, you will be definitely able to see in a different format. We already have reached to about 78,000 of plantations as on date, and from by next year, which is our target year, we had a target of closing 1 lakh tree plantations. I'm sure by next financial year or next monsoon, we will be more than 1,25,000 tree plantations, 25% over and above our targets on plantations. And all the other activities will definitely be geared up with the improved performance and increased number of teammates. Thank you all. Thank you for having your persistent and continuous support. And I look forward for more support and more motivation from all of you. Thank you so much. This is Ashish.
Thanks, Ashish Bhai. I wish to inform the members that we have not received any request for registration of shareholder to express their views or ask questions during the meeting in accordance with the instructions provided in the notice calling this AGM. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Am I right, Manish Bhai?
You need to unmute yourself.
Manish Bhai, you are on mute. Manish Bhai, you are on mute.
Oh, yes. When I absolutely compliment your word.
Thank you, sir. So I would now like to request Manish Bhai Turakia to share few words with us. Manish Bhai.
Thank you, Bhadrabel, for inviting so cordially. I want to introduce one very important shareholder, Manish Haria. Manish, hello. Ashish would know Mr. Manish Haria because we used to meet in Haria Center very frequently when Ashish used to visit Bombay from 2013 to 2015. Dubai, our relationship is about 7-year-old, and mine and Manish Haria's family relationship is 37-year-old. I used to go for audits in 1984 to their firm. So that is the length of the relationship we have, and he's our important shareholder here. Thank you, Manish, for joining the meeting. Now, with this, I would just welcome Affan as an executive director. Here on he is actively involved in the business. So really, it's a fresh blood, much needed. It was much in need of the hour because company is expanding exponentially, and at the top there was a vacuum. So he has really filled in a good vacuum. Wish you good luck, Afan.
Thank you, sir.
Actually, Farooq Bhai has actually very well said in his annual report, as a sign to this burning lamp, to the storm, that those who gives light, they never lose. So Farooq Bhai has just summarized everything, Farooq, Farooq Bhai is the real light of the entire group, and I wish that the light magnifies with more and more radiance. His wisdom, his acumen, his ability to pick up right people for right kind of job. That's what makes industry. As far as operations is concerned, Ashish, there is we couldn't have had anybody better than Ashish Michani as a promoter and an active executive promoter. I have seen him all throughout all these days. Challenges are there in all business. We had our own challenges, but now it's very good that we have that hybrid policy coming in. Gujarat state government also has relaxed few things which were an impediment in 2019. Ashish, I just want you to enlighten us on what is called protected contract negotiation.
Protracted by word, it means it is stretched, or it has lasted beyond the usual measurement. So the protracted contracting arrangement was because when we had signed up a small business arrangement before they went into participation of bid, we had submitted all the details, we had submitted the probable generation numbers with CLP, and based on all the available data and the pre-bid arrangement agreement which we had done, they had participated in the bid and they successfully won this 250 megawatt of project from SECI Trench 8. However, post winning of the bid, before winning of the bid, like they had done this pre-bid arrangement with KP Energy for balance of plant and site, they already had a similar kind of arrangement for supply of technology. However, the technology supplier went into a structural reorganization, and they had to change the technology supplier, and they had to renegotiate the entire contract with other technology supplier. And this was a process which lasted for about 8 months. Until the time this technology is finalized, though our arrangement was technology agnostic, still it had a lot of relevance and it had a lot of impetus on overall technology as well as the supply timelines from the new technology supplier. And therefore, the contract which should have been signed in November or December 2019 against the bid which was won in July and August 2019, this particular definitive contract has been completed only in the month of December 2020. So this is 12 months beyond expected timelines. Therefore, it is protracted agreement timelines.
Okay. Well understood. Another thing you mentioned in your presentation, that we are having a separate subsidiary now for O&M business. So in that, are we targeting other OEMs which have installed, say, 10 years ago, a few of the installation in that maintenance also will take over? do we have that kind of a revenue model in that subsidiary?
You are exactly taking what I didn't wanted to clarify, and you are exactly taking the words out of my mouth. So yes, this is what is my plan. I remember before 2 years I told in my speech in AGM that I want to see the balance sheet of KP Energy, which is a balance of plant developer, larger and bigger than some of the OEMs in this country, and this last 2.5 years of changes from regulatory perspective or from the COVID-19 impacts, a lot of changes has happened from OEM, a lot of consolidation has happened, and some of the OEMs which were prevalent in the market are not able to give similar kind of support today for their customers who had already invested, and they are dependent on that energy and their investments. So I look forward to supply and support all of that captive customers who have already invested, and we can, from our expertise, our exposure to this industry, and our wherewithal, I'm sure we have a lot of business available to us to channelize, and we will definitely have a team inbuilt to support us in not just operating the balance of plant for the project which are developed by us. We will definitely go forward to do the O&M for wind turbine technologies also for our existing as well as the existing OEMs. And look forward to see this particular entity also will someday get listed on the board.
Well said, well said. I just want to summarize, we are operating in the best state in terms of wind energy resource, Gujarat. By far, you are the best management in the sector. So let's try and replicate the what is best into a market capitalization also, because it's a very powerful instrument. It will help us in really building our currency and expand even India outside India. I sincerely wish that we achieve that target also now, because we also have a good listing history now. Anyway, corporate history is anyway there. Growth plans are always there. Strategically, whatever we are planning now in corporate structure like subsidiary formation and all that, let's hope we'll have a much respectable and a greater market capitalization and wealth creation for all the stakeholders, shareholders rather, promoter as well as non-promoter shareholders. With these words, I conclude. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Manish bhai. First, the way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. Second, knowing is not enough, we must apply. Willing is not enough, we must do. These are two basic principles 100% digested by our Managing Director, Shri Farooq bhai. I would now invite Mr. Farooq bhai Patel to share few words with us. Farooq bhai.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and very good afternoon to all of you. मनीष भाई, लहरों को साहिल की दरकार नहीं होती, हौसले बुलंद हो तो कोई दीवार नहीं होती, जलते हुए चिराग ने आंधियों से ये कहा, उजाला देने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती. Thank you everybody to be here on 12th annual general meeting through video conferencing second time, and thank to all of you कि जो लोग ऐसे मौके पर भी हमारे साथ रहे कि जिस मौकों के अंदर में कोविड का सिचुएशन तो था ही पूरी दुनिया के अंदर, साथ साथ में बिजनेस कुछ गवर्नमेंट की पॉलिसीज सर्वाइवल ऑफ विंड इंडस्ट्री को भी तकलीफ दे रही थी। ऐसे मौके पर हमारे साथ हमारे वेंडर, हमारे स्टेक होल्डर्स, हमारे लोग जो काम करने वाले हैं, हमारे साथीदार, हमारे बैंकर्स, ऐसे मौके पर हमारे साथ रहे, उस बदल में अपने तहे दिल से इन सब लोगों का शुक्रिया अदा करता हूं। थैंक यू वेरी मच। आप सब ने देखा होगा कि हमारी कंपनी लास्ट 2 साल के बाद इस तरह से उठ के ऊपर आ रही है कि शायद ही किसी ने सोचा होगा। और अगले 5 साल में इसकी उड़ान बहुत ही लंबी है जो हमारे लोगों ने आपको दिखा दी। और ये सिर्फ कहने के लिए नहीं, बाकायदा इसको ड्रॉ किया गया है और हर चीज और हर फ्रंट के ऊपर में काम हो रहा है। कोल्टे जी ने कहा इस तरह से, ये भी उसी का, एनसीएलटी भी उसी का हिस्सा है कि सारे केस विड्रॉल होके बाहर निकल गए। सारी कंपनीज के साथ में टाइप हो चुका है। 1035 मेगावाट की पाइपलाइन तैयार हो चुकी है और मेरे हाथ में पेपर है और आप लोगों ने सबने देख लिया आशीष भाई के प्रेजेंटेशन में कि हर चीज को बाकायदा अलग अलग करके दिखाया गया था। शायद किसी ने देखा या न देखा, मैंने बड़े गौर से देखा उसको कि हर चीज को अलग अलग से करके 595.8 जो है विंड का पोटेंशियल दिखाया गया, 440 हाइब्रिड का पोटेंशियल दिखाया गया, कहां कहां पर है वो भी दिखाया गया। सो वी आर वेरी माइन्यूटली डूइंग दिस थिंग। जो गया उसको भूल जाते हैं हम, लेकिन जो आने वाला है उसका हमने प्रूफ तो दे ही दिया लास्ट ईयर मनीष भाई, कि लास्ट ईयर दे दिया 1 करोड़ से 6 करोड़ के ऊपर प्रॉफिट को लाके। और इस साल जो जाएगा, वी ऑल विल बी द विटनेस इंशाअल्लाह। खास करके वो कहते हैं ना कि जिएगा नर तो बसेगा घर। तो ये कोविड के सिचुएशन के अंदर में हम सब ने जी लिया। ये सबसे बड़ी ईश्वरीय देन है हमको कि हम सब जी गए। अब बसाएंगे घर। 2 साल सभी के खराब गए और सभी को तकलीफ हुई, हालांकि बहुत कम तकलीफ हम लोगों ने देखी, वो भी अल्लाह का शुक्र है। और सिर्फ पैसे कमाने के लिए ही हम लोगों ने काम नहीं किया, हम लोगों ने सोशल वर्क भी किया, हम लोगों ने एनवायरनमेंट के ऊपर भी फ्रंट पे भी काम किया और उसमें बहुत अच्छी तरह से टीम लगी रही। और आज एक चीज बहुत ही अच्छी है कि हम सब सेफ पोजीशन में, तबीयत के हिसाब से भी एवरीवन इज गुड, सेफ, और बोर्ड के ऊपर में तैनात होके अरविंद जी हम लोग चल रहे हैं। हमारे साथ आशीष जैसे होनहार, हमारे साथ भद्रा मैम, आप जैसे कर्मित और प्रवीण जैसे एक्सपीरियंस विथ ऑल द थिंग्स इक्विप्ड लोग, कोल्टे साहब जैसे हमारे क्लच ब्रेक्स, हमारे मनीष साहब जैसे मोटिवेटर्स, और बाकी वीजी साहब हैं हमारे, और रावल साहब, जानकी मैम जैसे ऑडिटर्स, और सीएस। ये सबका एक कॉम्बिनेशन है। मैं ये इसलिए गिनवा रहा हूं कि ये ऐसी टीम है कि जिस टीम ने पिछले सालों के अंदर तकलीफ के अंदर के जो दुनिया की 100 साल की तकलीफों में सबसे बड़ी तकलीफ थी, उस तकलीफ के अंदर हम सबको सपोर्ट करके, हमारी कंपनी को सपोर्ट करके, जहां पर से खत्म होने की चीज को जिंदा करके, खाली जिंदा ही नहीं बल्कि उसको उठा लिया है, ऐसी टीम को मेरी तरफ से खूब खूब सलाम है। और आगे भी ये टीम इसी तरह से, इसी जोश और खरोश के साथ चलेगी। बहुत ही अच्छा मनीष भाई ने एक नोट किया जो मैं भी नोट करूंगा। कि अफान इलेक्ट्रिकल इंजीनियरिंग खत्म करके, मैं हमेशा कहता हूं कि बायोलॉजिकल फादर की तरह मैं हूं, लेकिन उसका जो ग्रोथ है, ब्रॉटअप है बिजनेस के अंदर, उसका फादर आशीष है। और द वे ही इज गिविंग द हैंड टू आशीष इन एजुकेशन, जिस तरह से वो काम को अंजाम दे रहे हैं दोनों मिलके, मुझे जो वैक्यूम थी वो खत्म हो चुकी है कंपनी की, और उसका रिजल्ट भी अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह इस साल हमने देखा और आगे के सालों में भी बड़ी अच्छी तरह से हम लोग इंशाअल्लाह देखेंगे। ये उम्मीद अफवान से भी हम लोगों को है।
और हमें पूरा यकीन है कि अफान अपनी उम्मीदों पे खरा उतरेगा।
थैंक यू।
और ये कंपनी के ग्रोथ और हमारे स्टेक होल्डर के लिए बड़ी ही अच्छी एक साइन है। इसी तरह से कंपनी ने लास्ट 2 साल के अंदर मनीष भाई ऑफिस का एनवायरनमेंट जो चेंज किया है, और नई ऑफिस के अंदर हम लोग आए, उसके बाद से हमारे ऑफिस के एनवायरनमेंट के अंदर हमारा जो स्टाफ, नीचे का स्टाफ है, उसके अंदर क्वालिफाइड लोगों की जो आमदगी हुई, यानी जो लोग भर्ती हुए हैं, उसमें भी बहुत बड़ा फर्क महसूस किया है, जो रिजल्ट के अंदर में तब्दीलियां दिख रही है। मैनेजमेंट के अंदर में उसकी वजह से काफी तब्दीलियां हो रही है, और पॉजिटिवली और ग्रोथ की तब्दीलियां हो रही है। इसी तरह से आशीष ने मेंशन किया अपने लेक्चर में कि ईआरपी सिस्टम जो है उसको हम इम्प्लीमेंट कर रहे हैं, जिससे भी फाइनेंस और प्रोजेक्ट की टीम को काफी फायदे हो रहे हैं। विंड की टेक्नोलॉजी इन्होंने बताया, सोलर की टेक्नोलॉजी इन्होंने कहा, और ये दोनों को मिला के जो हाइब्रिड की पॉलिसी जो सपोर्ट कर रही है, अगले सालों में इसका रिजल्ट भी काफी अच्छा आने वाला है, और ये आएगा ही, ये यकीन तौर पे हम लोग कह रहे हैं। जो वर्ष देखा मनीष भाई, वो वर्ष कभी आने वाला ही नहीं है, बल्कि इससे कई गुना ज्यादा हमारा प्रोग्रेस आगे के सालों में होगा। कोल्टे साहब ने बड़ी अच्छी तरह से नोट किया कि 0.37 जो डेट इक्विटी था वो 0.31 हुआ। ये एक साइन है कि हम लोग नीचे से ऊपर अब आ रहे हैं, और बहुत ही जल्द हो सकता है कि 2022 में भी आपका रिजल्ट जो हो उसके ऊपर में इसका इम्पैक्ट, क्योंकि 119 मेगावाट का जो नया 2022 से पहले हम लोगों को सीपीपी में जो विंड लगा के देना है, वो भी केपी एनर्जी के प्रॉफिट के अंदर और टर्नओवर के अंदर में बहुत बड़ा इम्पैक्ट होगा। 250 मेगावाट का सीएलपी का जो प्लांट चल रहा है, जो बड़ी फास्ट मूव करके जा रहे हैं द्वारका के अंदर, उसका रिजल्ट भी बहुत ही अच्छे तरीके से हम लोग को मिलेगा, ये आशा भी है। और एज अ मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर ऑफ द केपी एनर्जी, उसके ऊपर में बहुत ही मैग्नीफाइंग ग्लास रख के हम लोग उसकी बराबर से उसको विजुलाइज भी कर रहे हैं, और बराबर से उसके पीछे ध्यान दिए हुए हैं। हमारे रिसेंटली ज्वाइंट हुए पाटड़िया साहब, जो इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर है, काफी एक्सपीरियंस आदमी है, और इनको हम लोगों ने बहुत पुराने समय से हम उनको जानते हैं। ये बहुत बड़ी बड़ी कंपनीज के अंदर भी इसी तरह से काम करते हैं, जिनका एक्सपीरियंस हमको अच्छी तरह से काम लग रहा है, और आगे भी लगता रहेगा, और हम लोगों के ग्रोथ के अंदर में इसका बहुत बड़ा हिस्सा होगा। सबसे अच्छी चीज जो केपी एनर्जी की है वो ये है मनीष भाई, के गुजरात के अंदर इस तरह का ईपीसी आज तक तो कोई कंप्यूटर बना नहीं है, और आने वाले 5 साल अगर आज से शुरू करेगा तो वो शायद 5 साल के बाद उसको इम्प्लीमेंट कर पाएगा। तब तक हम लोग, मुझे लग रहा है कि 10,000 करोड़ का जो हमारा ख्वाब है, 1035 मेगावाट का हमारा जो हम लोगों ने सोचा है, वो उस ख्वाब को हम लोग हकीकत में इंशाल्लाह बदल के रहेंगे। हमारे स्टेक होल्डर्स भी इत्मीनान रखें, और हमारे सारे के सारे लोग इत्मीनान रखें, और ये जो मैं बात कर रहा हूँ बड़ी जवाबदारी के साथ अपने लफ्जों को कह रहा हूँ कि आप इसमें कभी भी ऐसी चिंता न करिएगा कि केपी एनर्जी कोई एक या किसी एक आदमी के जरिए से चलती हुई कंपनी है। ये सब लोग और एकदम से परफेक्ट एंथुजियास्टिक लोग हैं, यंग लोग हैं, एक्सपीरियंस वाले लोग हैं। इनकी एवरेज अगर एज देखें, सिर्फ एज की बात कर रहा हूं, तो 40 के करीब ही है। यानी आप देख लें कि ऐसे लोग, मैं हमेशा कहता हूं, आज भी कहूंगा कि ऐसे लोग अगर पूरे हिंदुस्तान को उठाना चाहे तो उठा सकते हैं। केपी एनर्जी तो बहुत छोटी सी चीज इन लोगों के लिए। तो मैं बहुत ज्यादा इस पे एम्फेसाइज दूंगा कि हम लोगों के आगे आने वाले साल बहुत ही ब्राइट होंगे, जिसकी शुरुआत हो चुकी है।
Farooq bhai,
जी
Farooq bhai, I want to add one thing here at the age. You have mentioned the physical age 40. If you extrapolate the experience age or the working age of the entire KP, that is also very good. Average number will be very good. I've observed it.
ये मनीष भाई 40 की एज में इसलिए कह रहा हूं कि एज अ माइथोलॉजी ऑफ इस्लाम दैट कयामत के दिन हर आदमी या औरत की एज जो है वो ईश्वर अल्लाह जो है वो 40 की करके रखेगा। तो 40 की एज जो है वो बहुत ही ऐसी एज होती है जिसपे आदमी में जुनून भी होता है और साथ साथ में उसको एक्सपीरियंस भी काफी कुछ मिल चुका होता है मनीष भाई। और हम लोग इस चीजों के ऊपर भी ध्यान देते हुए यंग एंड ओल्ड का कॉम्बिनेशन करते हुए एक्सपीरियंस एंड एनर्जी का कॉम्बिनेशन करते हैं और उस कॉम्बिनेशन को आगे कैसे चलाना है मैनेजमेंट उसके ऊपर भी बहुत अच्छी तरह से ध्यान दे रहा है। और अच्छा ये है कि वेंडरों का सपोर्ट है, साथ में आप लोगों का सपोर्ट है, इसी तरह से क्लाइंट का भी बहुत अच्छी तरह से सपोर्ट है, रेगुलेटरी गवर्नेंस और गवर्नमेंट का भी बहुत अच्छा सपोर्ट हो रहा है। तो इसको अब कोई रोक सकने वाली चीजें आगे दिख नहीं रही है। और छोटी मोटी अगर कोई चीजें आती भी है तो उसमें तो हमारे लोग काफी माहिर हो चुके हैं। तो लेट मी कंक्लूड कि जिस तरह से मैंने पहले भी कहा कि जिएगा नर तो बसेगा घर, तो हम लोग ने जी चुके हैं और अब घर बसा रहे हैं। आप सब साथ रहिए और गुजरातीनी कહેવત કહે છે ભેગા થાઓ પણ સાથે ભેગા રહો તો જ આપણી આગળની ઉન્નતિ થશે। એ મારી રિક્વેસ્ટ બધાને છે। બી અ ફર્મ and give a good support and give a blaze to the company and company officials। તો અમે લોકો આગળ વધીશું જ। અને એની સાથે હું મારું છેલ્લું જે મને આદત છે તે પ્રમાણે નાની અમસ્તી એક વાત કહીશ મનીષભાઈ અને હું આને પૂરું કરીશ મારા વક્તવ્યને અને થેન્ક્સ કહીશ બધાને કે you all were listening very nicely, calmly and you were watching everything and I appreciate all of you। बेहतर से बेहतर की तलाश करो, मिल जाए नदी तो समंदर की तलाश करो। बेहतर से बेहतर की तलाश करो, मिल जाए नदी तो समंदर की तलाश करो। टूट जाते हैं शीशे पत्थरों की चोट से, टूट जाते हैं शीशे पत्थरों की चोट से। टूट जाए वो पत्थर ऐसे शीशे तलाश करो। तो मेरे ख्याल से आप मेरी आइडियोलॉजी को और मेरी चीज को समझ चुके होंगे और मुझे पूरा यकीन है आशीष एंड टीम पे कि वो ये ऐसे शीशे हैं जो पत्थरों को भी तोड़ देंगे। और इसी के साथ मैं सबका शुक्रिया फिर से अदा करता हूँ। थैंक यू वेरी मच। अस्सलाम वालेकुम वरहमतुल्लाहि वबरकातुहू। थैंक यू।
Thanks, Farooq bhai. There being no other business to conduct, I once again thank to all of you for sparing your valuable time and making it convenient to participate in this meeting through video conference and other audio-visual means facility. As part of our tradition, I request everyone to stand up for national anthem and declare this 12th annual general meeting as concluded.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा। तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे। जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हिंद
Thanks.
Karmit sir, with your permission, can we conclude this meeting?
Yes, we can conclude, please.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.